He is 100% worth it.
He takes it to another level. Oh my God, I just fell in love with it.
Thanks so much, Jay.
Blew my mind. And it worked. I wanted to buy my thing.
Jay is, I would say, the Yoda of sales calls, man.
Just talking to Jay, he was so good at just taking what it is, seeing the opportunity and the value and the real reason we are making it.
Talk to Jay, because he got it. He can definitely help you out.
Talk to Jay. You're going to get a lot. You're going to gain a lot.
I would absolutely recommend him for any position that you have.
Jay's definitely the guy.
Give him the chance, give him the opportunity. You won't regret it.
He's good at what he does, so I highly recommend him, and I would book him before he is fully booked out.
Welcome back to the Sales Ninja Show podcast, where we cut through the noise, ditch outdated sales tactics, and show you how to close deals with confidence, strategy, and integrity. I'm Jay Lee, founder of Sales Ninja, and as a former banker, former introvert, former pastor, former high-ticket seven-figure sales ninja, I now help grow and scale businesses without the need for pushy tactics. And that's the heart of the reverse glass selling method, a kingdom-driven approach from the Bible, 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. Which is built on trust, service, and true connection. My mission is to help 1 million people break the cycle of generational poverty so that you can sell more to give more. Today's guest is someone who has empowered women to build real wealth through real estate without the need for traditional retirement plans or relying on banks. She's the CEO of Bottom Line Wealth, LLC, and she's raised over $1.4 million in just 90 days. Built an $11 million portfolio in 10 months, and has been living off real estate since 2000. Joanna has trained thousands of women to close deals and build financial freedom. And now she's here to share with you how you can start creating wealth through real estate. Let's welcome Joanna Wright. Hey, Joanna, how you doing?
I'm good, Jay. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you for coming to the Sales Ninja Show podcast.
Oh my goodness, thanks so much for having me. I love it. Love it.
My pleasure. So let's start from the beginning. Now, did you grow up playing with dolls and selling homes to your friends while you were playing dolls, or where did it all start?
Well, first of all, I wasn't that doll type person. I was more like the race car, playing with cars and stuff like that. So
there you go.
I was under the truck, on the truck, wrenching with my dad. So
oh, really?
He was a mechanic, and that was kind of the gist of my life growing up on the racetrack. He was a big racer at the drag strip, and
what?
Yeah. So we had nothing to do with real estate. We had nothing to do with building wealth. Matter of fact, we had a ton of fun, and it was all about working hard so we could play hard. That much I learned.
So, okay, that's incredible. What an intro. I had no idea. So your dad was a mechanic. You grew up with tools, not toys or dolls, which, you know, is a stereotype. And he loved racing cars. So what kind of cars did he build, fix, race?
Several. One was the Wright flying machine.
The what? The Bright flying machine?
Wright, last name Wright, the Wright flying machine. That was one of his first. He had a Chevelle, 67 Chevelle. He's had a nostalgia Corvette funny car and 2 love trucks, one in which I was able to race myself and wrench on and drive around and do all the things, and one that was strictly with nitrous, and I couldn't touch that one because it was an 11-second vehicle. So.
Oh my gosh. So you raced as well? You raced a truck?
I raced a truck. It's a Chevy Love truck. It's a small step side, and it did 13 seconds down the quarter mile. Yeah, that was what I wrenched on. I helped my dad, hand him tools, and you know, we raced. Oh. He coached me on the racetrack. That was my first coaching session.
How old were you when he was coaching you on the racetrack?
I was 12.
Come on. Wait
That's
up.
how to
You could
drive.
race at that age?
No, we just knew everybody very well.
So incredible. So how is that? Learning how to drive on the racetrack, getting coached by your dad, driving these extremely fast cars. What was that like as a girl?
Well, I didn't really position myself as either or. It just was, and it was super fun. Hanging out, talking car shop, if you will. I'm a certified mechanic, grease monkey. Love the smell of nitrous.
You love the smell of nitrous? What does it smell like?
It's pretty toxic. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
But it just reminds me of the racetrack.
Yeah.
Burning rubber. You're covered in rubber by the time you come home because everyone's burning their tires and heating them up so that they get traction on the racetrack. So, yeah, there's quite a bit of fun to it.
Wow. And did you learn how to fix and maintain cars as well in the process?
Yes. My dad had 2 girls, my sister and myself, and he really wanted to make sure that we were taken care of. We knew how to fight. We knew how to run our own vehicles. We knew how to, do all the things so that we can take care of ourselves. And so I've been a very independent person. My dad raised me very independently, to be very independent and not depend on anybody. So, yeah, there was that.
Wow. I love that. As a dad of 2 girls and 1 son, trying to fixing part, I'm not the greatest fixer, so not much I can help them with there, but fighting and being independent and how to, run a business for sure. So, he taught you boxing? What did he teach you for self-defense?
So my dad was notorious for coming out of a corner and just grabbing us and saying, "Get out of it."
What?
We had to do our best, and we learned how to basically stomp on him and throw him to, yeah.
For real? For real?
For real. He wanted us to be prepared for being attacked should it ever happen. He was a very protective father. So, yeah.
I love that. I love your dad already. I mean, that's incredible. Not many dads, they more like, hey, you want a princess dress, or you want a tutu, or you want to learn how to do ballerina, or
None of that.
attacking his own daughter so that they would learn how to fight for themselves and be independent. How does that shape you today in the lessons that were learned from your dad?
I'd have to say that if there's a will, there's a way. If you can dream it, it can happen. Is a lot that came from that, because it wasn't an ordinary little girl life, if you will. And I would say most people, doesn't matter male, female, would feel trapped if they got attacked. And I found a way to get out of it multiple different times, different ways. He was gentle, but still put enough pressure on that I had to struggle. And to me, it told me as an adult, there isn't anything you can't handle. There isn't anything you can't handle, financial wise, people wise, anything. There's an answer to everything. So I didn't know it at the time. I thought, this was just normal life for us. But to be able to wrench on a vehicle and know what I'm wrenching on, to be able to defend myself, to be able to make fast decisions, because you got to make a fast decision when you're under attack. And if something happens to your vehicle on the road, you got to make fast decisions. And I've learned through business that making fast decisions helps you move the needle for you, obviously faster. But there's this old saying that money loves speed, right? And it's basically just energy. It loves to be in motion. It's not necessarily speed, but it loves to be in motion. So when it's stagnant, nobody's learning, nobody's growing, nobody's doing anything. And I think that's kind of what my dad taught me, was to always be in motion.
Love that. There's so many lessons learned here from your dad on the raceway, you know, in the corners, getting, you know, pummeled by your dad, attacked. I love it. And I love that you said that, you know, if there's a will, there's a way. And if you can dream it, you can have it. You know, your personal journey and entrepreneurial spirit is fierce and amazing, already from what I'm hearing. And I'm even just from this podcast, even though I know you a little bit, and having coached in a program that we were in together as a sales coach, you went from rock bottom to $11 million, and you built an $11 million real estate portfolio from the ground up, starting from a challenging place. Can you walk us through the journey from rock bottom to becoming a successful real estate investor?
Yeah, absolutely. So not having anything to do with real estate, I had no idea anything, not even how to just buy a traditional American dream. I heard about it. My parents rented most of our lives. They didn't buy anything until I was an adult. And so we rented our whole lives. And we were just your regular W-2 people, blue collar, living just above broke, and just making ends meet, having fun and making ends meet. We didn't really need anything, but we weren't like living the high life either. So, so there was that. When I was in my mid-20s, my landlord's daughter came to the door and said we need to sell off some of her inventory. And I said, inventory? You mean you can own more than one of these things? What is that? How does that work? And so my friend down the road, she was a mortgage broker. She walked me through it. I said, you did what? You made how much? And can you teach me? And of course, she took me under her wing, and I learned how to be a mortgage broker and was introduced to the world of real estate and mortgages. And amazing. So many things happened. I don't even know where to begin. But in 2008, my loans were just disappearing one after another. Wouldn't close. And I literally lost everything. I had attempted to do real estate investing in 2004, did a great deal in Nampa, Idaho. That was my first deal. Bought it sight unseen. Nothing like jumping into the deep end of something you know nothing about.
My gosh.
But that was my personality. So not afraid of much, you know, just go find out, right? Go move. And so it worked out fine. But in 2008, I did lose everything, including my business.
Wow.
In a very toxic relationship, like I couldn't even afford a bottle of water. It was, and every penny that I made, he would take. So I was stripped of everything, including my integrity, not my integrity, but my self-worth, my pride, like everything, where I just felt so low. You know, like, what am I supposed to do here? I've always been a very independent woman. How did this even happen?
Yeah.
It was a crazy time. And to have lost everything and not have the financial backing anymore, I felt stuck. Absolutely stuck. And all I had to do, or what I finally put my intention to, and it was because my son had come to me and said, you know, like, Mom, what the heck happened to you? Like, you used to be so strong and independent, and like basically all he's hearing is wow, 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 right? Like, this is not normal. Who are you? And I'm just like, my life, you know, like you get in this certain mode and it's really difficult to explain the feeling of that. But it wasn't who I was as a human. And so I'm like, wait a minute, I am independent. I know how to get out of everything. This is what I was taught. And so I just literally put my blinders on and I started wholesaling. Wholesaling is a way to flip paper. You buy at a discount, you sell at a discount, and you make the spread in between. And so in order to, so he knew I was doing this, but in order to create the cash I needed to get the life I needed, I made 2 separate checks. So, honey, this is what I made. And the other one went to a secret account.
Oh my gosh.
And that was my saving grace, to be able to create an escape route, if you will. And so I did it. Obviously, I'm out of it, but it humbled me. It really did. It really humbled me to, wow, just like that, everything could be gone. And so what I learned, like I said, I started doing wholesale, and then I started doing fix and flips, and then I was making real cash. I was able to buy a car, get out of it, get through the whole divorce thing, and move on to a different life. And so I built a community in California where first it was just 3 of us doing real estate together. And then there was 12 of us, and then there's 50, and now I'm doing workshops, and people are like, how'd you do this? And so I just showed them, and that helped me create my coaching program that I have now today, my Retire Mastermind. And I call it that because I hear so many people, and this is even before COVID, which I'm going to tell you why that's important in a minute, but I heard so many people without a retirement plan, or the 401k that they thought was going to be their plan. It only has 300,000 in it. Like, nobody's going to live off that for very long.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my God, but real estate gives you all of, the cash flow, the tax deductions, and then I remembered my landlord. My landlord had sold off some of her inventory because she had had a stroke. She had been living off the cash flow of her real estate. And when she had a stroke, she had her daughter sell off some of the properties so that she could use that money to pay for her long-term care to recover from the stroke. And I thought, that is a wealth plan that everybody should have, not depending on a man, family, the government, a job. Like, do all those things because you want to, not because you have to. Right? So that is what I got from that. And my soapbox that I'm on is to help more women to have that independence, to create their own economic independence, so that should anything happen, they don't have to stay because they're financially stuck. They don't have to not get the health care that they want because they don't have the proper insurance or additional income to get the specialized care that they need. So that's the power of real estate for me, that I share with all of my students. And so that's where I created that Retire Mastermind, so they can create the same thing.
Let's go back a bit, because that was an incredible story. So you were married, was it for 2 years and a bit?
It was for almost 4 years.
4 years. Toxic relationship. You said you had one son?
I have one son, yes.
Did he end up, I don't know how old he is, but does he end up learning the stuff that you're doing as well?
Yes, he actually bought a 3-plex and is learning. He's going to go buy an RV park here shortly. He's looking at one. Yes, he has learned. So it's so funny you mentioned that, because when he was 18, he goes, I'm never doing real estate.
Really?
Yeah, I'm never doing that. Like, this is what your family and your kids think when you're an entrepreneur. I'm never.
Yeah.
I've been living off of real estate for 25 years. So I've come a long way. And he now sees it. Now that he's grown up as an adult, he's like, I get it now. And he does look to me as his mentor in running through something. What do you think about this deal, Mom? And so it's changed from I want nothing to do to it to, oh my God, I'm so grateful I have you as my mom.
So special. What a story. I mean, I didn't know about that. And then, the secret account, right?
which I now call a wealth account for my students.
Ooh.
You know, create the wealth account so that you can invest. We call that a holding. It's not a savings account. If you're saving money, if you've got money in the bank, you're losing money at the rate of inflation. So hold to then put it in invest. Right? So create all the earned income, put that into an investment, and then live off the cash flow. That's the huge tax advantage that you can do. Where most people go wrong is they live off of the earned income. And then most of that is going to Uncle Sam. So you're not living off of much.
Okay. I just got an idea for the next episode. If you have a whiteboard or if you have a dry eraser or some sort of like thing, I would love, you know how they do those in those like infomercials or in those television shows or like the marketing things where you just what you said, visualize it. So, you know, a lot of people may not even know, you know, how to do what you're doing or even how you can live off of, a wealth account that you mentioned versus the difference between a savings account where you're losing money to the bank and inflation. Like those things, like most people are living by that still and accept that. And that's not good. So I would love, because I haven't prepared you on this show, but the next one, if you have some way of putting a whiteboard or like even getting a dry erase marker and or even a share screen with a slide deck sharing how this works, I think that would be super helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. I could do that.
Okay, awesome. So that's my way to hook you back to the part 2. That's a sales ninja way.
I love it.
Real estate as a path to financial freedom. So what was a pivotal moment when you realized that real estate would not only secure your financial future? Because you said you've been living off of real estate for 25 years, whereas, you know, maybe you had some family members or friends or even coworkers or even people you grew up with, maybe in the church, that said, you know, you're better off getting a 9-to-5 job. What made you come to that moment in your life where it was like, oh, like that you could actually do this and make a living off of it and be successful?
Yeah. So like I said, back in 2000, that's when I was first introduced to all of this. And when I lost everything in 2008, I had just been churning, if you will, deal after deal. I'm not really paying. Yeah, investing sounds great. And then here's 8 properties. And then here's, there's some cash flow, but, it wasn't, nothing triggered. It was just doing the thing, checking the box. I'm doing the thing. It wasn't until after I lost everything and I couldn't even afford a bottle of water and just fell basically to my knees of like, what and why, how, what, like asking all those questions. I needed a plan. And I started using real estate as my savior, if you will.
Yeah.
And knowing that it could save me from the hell I was in, to be able to give grace for getting out of it, I knew that was my vehicle. And so that was when I put my blinders on and said, good Lord, if I could get through this, I will give back 10,000% and make sure every single woman, person who ever has to face this knows that there's an out. Just like my father taught me, here's how you get out of this headlock, right? So I want to teach them, here's how you get out of that situation. You don't have to be in that situation. You can create your own economic independence.
And speaking of startup challenges and scaling strategies, you raised 1.4 million in 9 days. That is not a small feat by any means. You raised 1.4 million in 9 days from passive investors. So I just talked to a gentleman yesterday, and he's doing a health tech startup launch, and he wants to go to market. He's trying to generate or raise 500,000 or $500,000, which is a lot less than what you raised, a third of seed capital from investors. So what strategies did you use to gain their trust and close 1.4 million in 90 days so quickly?
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, because that was a lot. I had to literally, just the same way I got in or out of my situation and into real estate, was putting my blinders on, because we're distracted by so much. social media, family, events, birthdays, weddings, you name it. There's so many things we get distracted with. I literally dropped everything. I have a whole Excel spreadsheet that I train on now on how to raise capital for my students, and 611 people by the close of escrow for my first multifamily, 61 properties. And I just looked back and I went, oh, what just happened? So it was a lot of phone calls. It was diving into the DMs on Facebook, talking to people. And I was just on an interview last week. And this gal asked me, she goes, do you have a script? What can I? And I said, yeah, sure. And someone says, well, don't you have a class? You're going to pay for that. I said, I'll give the script right here, right now. And everyone just like leaned in. What's the script, Joanna, that I could raise all this money? And all I said was, hi, my name's Joanna. How can I serve?
What?
That's it.
Are you talking to investors and saying that?
Yes. How can I serve you?
But aren't you asking for money to raise capital?
Am.
Okay.
That should never be the first thing you say.
Yeah.
The sale is not the first thing you ask for. You know that, Jay?
Yes. Yes.
You have to serve and give value first.
Mm.
Right? And that's where a lot of people miss the beat, because they're going straight to we're through this social media. We've gotten no patience, right? We want instant gratification. And if you're not leading with a servant heart, you're not going to last.
Mm.
And so that's really all I did was how can I serve? They wanted me to understand how I do real estate, how I'm doing this and how I'm doing that. And how do I get started? I'm looking at this. Does it make sense to you? And I'm like, I'll give you my honest opinion, what it looks like.
So let's back it up. Let's back up the truck a little bit.
Sure.
Pardon the pun. But there's a difference between getting on a conversation and having this heart-centered servant leadership conversation, which I absolutely love and teach. How are you getting them onto the calls? That may be a stumbling block or an obstacle for most people.
Yeah, so nobody knows you're doing anything unless you get out there and do it. So this podcast, for instance, right? Letting people know, hey, I raised capital for real estate. It's a way for you to participate and not have to worry about tenants, toilets, or any of that, and get the cash flow that you deserve and the tax advantage. That's where a lot of people miss the boat, is there's a huge tax advantage to this. You're paying way too much in taxes. Let me teach you how to pay zero. Oh my God, Joanna, let's jump on the call and see. Great. How can I serve you? I want to know how to pay next to zero in taxes. I want to know how to get started. I want to know how to get my own 61 unit. Great. Whatever it is, I'm going to serve. And if they can go out and do it, by all means, high five to them, go do it. But if you know what, Joanna, I have 150K, can I just put it into your real estate? Absolutely.
So how many outreaches? I heard the number 611 and I heard 61. So I know it took 90 days. So how many outreaches did you have to do in that time? And you should break it down by 9 days or per day? What did it look like?
611 investors or people that I chatted with who want to be investors or are investors.
You had 611 conversations in 9 days?
Yes.
Okay. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
So you had 6 to 7 or 7 conversations per day.
At least a couple, if not more.
Or even 10. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So you must have had it dialed down to 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
Yeah. So it was some of them were 5-10 minutes. Some of them were a half hour. It just depended.
And how many did you get to invest 1.4 million out of the 611?
So the number of people were, I can't remember exactly the number of people. It was a small amount.
Was there an average investment amount?
The average was 75,000.
Okay. Oh my goodness, that's incredible.
Yeah, and then I ended up in other deals where So there was some that wanted to invest, but they couldn't get their retirement funds transferred fast enough. And so they went into the second deal.
So, I mean, you don't need to go into a lot of details, but just for people who are curious, when they're getting into these kind of investor deals, real estate investor deals, what kind of return can they get and how long? Is that even the right question?
Yeah. So they can get anywhere from 6 to 10%. We have one at 19%. So it varies. It varies.
And how long does it take to get that back?
So, and that varies as well. We have one that's a 3 to 5 year. So it'll either refinance or sale so that they can get the return of their capital. They could stay in the deal itself and still get the cash flow, monthly cash flow, but they get their capital back. There is a 7 to 10 year one, and that's the one with the large double digits that they can get, but it's a longer hold. So it's what we call an IRR, internal rate of return, where it's your investment over time gets to be so large. Okay.
We're talking 6 to 10% on the IRR as well, or?
Yeah, that's even more. No, the IRR is typically, we like to see 15.
Hello.
Yeah.
So versus the bank's interest rate of how much?
Yeah. Right. So the bank, please do not go to the bank for anything if you can help it. They don't give you any money on your savings, any money in your checking, and they're going to try and put you in this little tiny box if you're trying to get a mortgage.
What is the percentage of interest? Like 0 point something? For banks.
0.005, I think it is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They really don't want to give you anything, do they?
They don't want to give you anything.
But they want to use your money to invest for themselves.
They go invest themselves. Exactly.
So it's a lose-lose.
They do this thing that nobody knows is they sweep all the bank accounts every single night. And that's several pennies. Okay? Several pennies that are lost in the ether. And the bank does a sweep and scoops up all those pennies for themselves.
Is that a metaphor?
Nope.
Okay.
You could actually look that up. The banks sweep accounts. And we teach you how to sweep your own so that you pay less in interest. So we help you to pay down a 30-year mortgage in 7 to 10 years.
Uh-huh.
Because we sweep it, baby.
30-year mortgage in 7 to 10 years?
Yeah. And so you're not paying all that interest. And here, like, I could go into this for like
oh my gosh.
days on end. But basically, when you get a mortgage, everyone thinks you're paying, 3, 5, 7%. You're not. Times that, times the IRR over time, you're paying 130%. So if you look at your closing statement of your house, anyone can go look at this. Comment wherever you want to comment, wherever this video is. Tell me what your tip is. Total interest percentage. And you might have a shit fit. Excuse my language.
Total interest, what does a P stand for?
Percentage. Total interest percentage.
Okay.
And so you'll see, this is on your closing statement, in case y'all want to know, it's on your closing statement. And it says your APR is 5, 6, 7%. You're like, oh my God, okay, I got this. And even some of you that got 2 or 3%, you think you're good. You're not.
Yeah.
You want to go down the closing statement to the tip, the total interest percentage. And here's the kicker. You ready for this one, Jay?
Yeah.
That's just when you purchase it. The whole front end is interest loaded, right? All of that money's going to the bank. And then guess what we do in 3 to 5 or 7 years?
What?
We refinance.
Yes.
And start the clock over again. And so you're never paying down principal.
Ouch.
Ouch. So one of my clients is saving $148,000 on her mortgage, plus interest on credit cards and a car loan. Oh, and a student loan too. So
you're talking about $140,000 in interest payments?
Interest over a 30-year mortgage.
$140,000.
Yes.
Holy
You are
smokes.
paying double what you purchased. If you purchase a $200,000 house, it's a $400,000 house. That's how
Yikes.
much you're paying in extra. Like, what could you do with $148,000?
A lot.
Like, why give it to the bank? This is why I have ditched the bank real estate investing.
Yeah, no thanks to giving it to the bank. Okay, wow, eye-opening. And it actually it provokes such an anger, right? Of like, how can they
We're
get away
being
with
had.
this? We're getting like fleeced, and the shirt's being taken off our backs. Like it's just like unimaginable.
Yeah, and it's totally legal for them to do, and they're backed by the government. In case they get caught in a pickle, like they did in 2008, they'll get bailed out.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, I know, right? The anger is coming up. All right, let's go to the next one.
Yeah,
So
yeah. You got me riled up in a good way.
let me take you back to pre-COVID and why that was a big soapbox for me as well. Is how many people jumped off during COVID and became entrepreneurs, right? No longer getting the gold watch, the retirement package, the pension, all that stuff is old school. It doesn't work anyways. And some people might say, well, I have one. Well, go see how much it is. Go make sure that your company didn't gamble off your pension, because that's happened several times. Okay? Go make sure your
People lost their pension?
People lost their pension. You can Google it. It's a real story.
Oh my gosh.
Your 401k cut in half. I've had several people with their 401ks come to me and go, Joanna, I want to put it in a tangible asset that's growing. You've been in real estate for 25 years. Please go make my money work for me. And that's what I do. I go make their money work for them. Your dollars need to go find babies. Go work and make babies. Right? So that's what I teach my students to never. If you put money in a jar and you put it in your backyard, it's losing value every single day.
Yeah.
You have to put it in motion to create more.
It's like we're people of faith and Christians, and the parable of talents, right? When people hide it in the dirt and it just goes to waste, and then God is angered and takes away you. If you don't use it, you lose it. And putting that dollar into motion is when the parable of talent is the person who took the 3 or the 5 and they used it, and God doubled that because they were faithful with little and entrusted with much. I think that's a very important point that you mentioned, is that you need your money to work for you, and they need to make babies so that you can continue to put this money into motion. Scaling your portfolio across multiple states, building an $11 million portfolio across these states in just 10 months is incredible. What were the key steps that took you to scale your real estate investments so quickly? And also, what challenge did you face along the way?
So the biggest challenge is I'm a little bit of a control freak. And what this taught me was to play team.
Is to what, sorry?
Play team.
What do you mean by that?
Work as a team.
To let go, relinquish the control and play as a team?
Yes. And that wasn't easy for me. I see a lot of trainers out there that say squat up and joint venture. And I've had students who, I'll say one student in particular, she quit showing up. And so I reached out to her. I'm like, well, what's going on? Well, I'm on my soapbox all the time saying, don't just JV with anybody, and so I asked her, she goes, I did the thing that you always tell us not to do. I'm like, what? She saw, I joint ventured. It was before I joined your program, Joanna, but I joint ventured with somebody, and she was subpoenaed by court. He had done her wrong. And she's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, give me all your stuff. And so I walked her through. There's a lot of things that can happen if you just joint venture with just anybody. Now, I was able to support her, but I had to reach out. She was so ashamed. She hid in the corner. Don't ever do that, anybody. Please get some help. And come find out, he wasn't even, his phone was disconnected, and the contract wasn't even his name. It was some other name, some girl's name.
What?
And so she was just desperate for her first deal, and I get it. And so it just bad things happen to good people. And so get a coach, get somebody in your corner by your side to walk you through it. That's number one. You don't want just anybody.
Yeah.
So how did I vet them out? Right? So I had to vet them out. How many deals have you done? What is your background? What do you do for a living? What kind of family person are you? And here's one thing that we did. And you'll get to know somebody real quick when you do this. We did a scavenger hunt together. It was something that somebody else put on, but we did a scavenger hunt together. And you get to learn how people play team. If they get greedy, who are they under pressure? And do they lift you up or tear you down to win?
Oh, wait up. Okay. I understand the team. I understand the dynamics of games. What do you mean you did a scavenger hunt in real life?
Yeah.
What?
I know.
What do you, between like a team or between two people, or how many people were doing this?
It was five of us.
Okay. That were on your team?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And we got instructions. We didn't know what they were until we received them. And then we had to go do the thing, find the thing, whatever. And some of the things were just really, I'm like, what? You want me to do what? And and then I had a team member explain to me. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes better sense. So having someone in your corner to help you understand something, could be a contract, could be a PPM, like those are like 47, 57 pages. Contracts are a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
How is this person explaining to you how something's working in this game is going to play out in real life? So do they pull you up or tear you down just to get the win? So when I was coaching my son's hockey team when he was younger, he's about 10 years old, I got so mad at the coach. I'm like, you got to put him in there, And he goes, you know what? You think you're better at this? He handed me the clipboard. He says, you coach.
Right. You coach?
Yeah. I went, oh. Oh. So I coached for
You did?
I did for 2 seasons. And I say that because I put the kids in the game. He was in it for just the win. And the rest of the team was like, dude, I just want to play. And I felt so bad for them. My son was included. He wasn't the best skater. So it was on rollerblades. So, there can be challenges, but how do you handle those challenges? And that coach reminded me of, you're not playing team, dude. You're not playing team. So I understand that because I did a lot of my real estate all by myself. My 6-figure flips, my wholesales, my small portfolio that I had prior to jumping in that trance of 10 months of raising capital and building my portfolio, my first 61 unit large building. That took team. That took listening, that took understanding, that took me going out of my comfort zone.
Wow. We run out of time, but I want to do a part 2 because there's so much more under the hood. Here we go with the pun again. I want to go into coaching and empowering entrepreneurs. I want to go from zero to closing deals. I want to, talk about your success stories in part 2. I want to talk about future vision and industry trends. I want to talk about the role of passive investing in real estate and what do you see in the next 5 to 10 years. I want to talk about faith, purpose, and kingdom-driven purpose in your business. So that's round 2 if you're open to it. I'd like to do a lightning round, which is the last minute getting to know Joanna. So these are just quick questions and whatever comes to the top of your head and just answer. Okay.
You got it.
Okay. So morning routine. What's your morning routine like, especially as a successful entrepreneur who juggles multiple responsibilities?
My morning routine is the very first thing I say to myself is my future self. So I have $1 billion portfolio and a team that helps me to live the life that I want to live, that I can control it from anywhere. My morning routine also consists of my health, exercising first thing, because if I don't trick myself first thing in the morning, it won't happen.
Don't trick yourself?
I have to trick myself into working out, yes.
Okay.
So if I'm not quite awake yet, I'm like, I just naturally go to working out. There we go.
That's awesome. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Favorite real estate strategy that's consistently worked for you, especially for women who are just starting out?
Ooh. So I've done many strategies. I guess my favorite is the fix and flip because I love that transformation.
Personal Bible verse or quote? Do you have one that helps drive you when things get tough?
Yes. Oh my goodness. There's several.
Yeah.
I'm just always leading with a servant heart. Like that's always my first thing that I go to. Like when things are tough, how do I speak in solutions? How do I speak as a servant heart? How am I being a great conduit of what I'm here on this earth to do?
Talent or fun fact, what's something about you that your clients or your followers would be surprised to know outside of your work in real estate?
Drag racing.
You still do that?
I'm a grease monkey. I didn't tell anybody about that. So it's funny. I was just talking to somebody and I was looking at a campsite RV park and it's by a racetrack. So all of that
no way.
flooding back to me. And
Do you have a car that you can race right now?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to have one? Was that your bucket list?
God, I spent so many years at it. It's not really a bucket list. I do love going to the drag strip though.
Okay, awesome. Last question is book or resource recommendation. What's one book or resource that has significantly impacted your journey, and what would you recommend to an aspiring real estate investor? Oh, it's right on your bookshelf. I love it.
Yeah, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Who is it by?
Don Miguel Ruiz.
Don Miguel Ruiz, okay. And why would you recommend that?
I recommend it because it helps me reset. Because you get to change as a human to create the world that you want. And it's being impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. And always do your best. If you can live by those 4 core values, which is what my company values are. And all I ask of my students is these core values.
Love that. If you can repeat that slowly again, the 4 agreements, the 4 values.
Mm-hmm. The 4 agreements are to be impeccable with your word.
Yeah.
Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. And always do your best.
I love that. That's so good.
Thank you.
That is so good. On that note, what a way to finish. So everyone, listen to what Joanna has to say. If you guys are interested in learning more, you can go to bottomlinewealth.net. And you can also contact Joanna by going to her calendar, which is Ask Joe. Let's see, put it here. .biz. If you want to learn more, you can connect with her on LinkedIn. You can connect her with her on Facebook. She is a force to be reckoned with, from learning how to scrap and get out of chokeholds and arm bars or headlocks, to putting you at the front so that you don't have to pay taxes and make almost nothing off of bank interest through savings. So if you're looking to do real estate investment, she is the person to go to. She is the one that I recommend. So thank you, Joanna. Looking forward to part 2.
You got it, Jay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Massive.